Hi, and welcome to the Your Good News podcast with me, your host, Katherine Getty. It's easy to believe the news around us, that the world is dark and the future is the same. But what if we chose something different? What if we chose to find the good news in each day? This podcast is a collection of interviews with friends, mentors, colleagues on their good news, and some solo episodes on inspiration I find, from business to health to politics and kind of everything in between. It's my hope you leave with a boost and find your good news. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Good News podcast. It's me, your host, Katherine Getty. As I start every episode, I want to begin with a bit of good news. So I have been traveling over the last, 2 months. I've been to New York City, Omaha, Lincoln, Austin, Clay Center, Baltimore. And after a time when that wasn't always an option, the ability to travel, I love zipping through an airport or finding a new friend at the gate. Yes, I know you're probably not shocked by that. Being delayed or finding a new spot to grab to eat, like all those little things I've been so grateful for. And I'm grateful to get to outside of DC. And then I'm grateful to come back and be home. And I think it's inspiring to be able to travel. And, I think as I think about the heart of the episode, it's funny that I bring up how grateful I am to be traveling again. But I also hold the emotion of being really tired physically, mentally. It takes a lot out of you. And so my two ideas today are related to rest. Bum, bum, bum. One, that rest doesn't mean inaction. And two, that rest can be, and you can hold that feeling the same way you hold gratitude for a busier season. So let's unpack those notions a bit more. One, being that rest doesn't mean inaction. Rather, I think it's an active choice to heal, to rest, to grow even more. And I say all these things. And if I'm being really honest, I struggle often with the idea of rest, of a rest day during a workout or a rest day and sleeping in a little bit more. This episode comes, like I said, after a lot of travel, which I am beyond grateful for, but I also feel a tad burnt out. And I record this days before you hear it, if you're listening in mid-May. And I had initially planned to be, I'm air quoting now, super productive today with the podcast, prepping Instagram content, the website, recording, sketching out guest interviews. The list goes on. It's making me a little anxious even just to say it. But I knew in my heart this morning when I woke up that I just needed some rest. I've been doing a lot and I'm been so happy to see so many friends and family and to be able to be so active. But I really just need a day where my mind isn't spinning and I'm not feeling like I'm constantly on the go. The phrase a lazy Sunday, sometimes I'm like, if you don't do anything, that's being lazy. And I think rest doesn't mean inaction. Like I said, I think it's a choice to heal and to rest and to grow. So how does that resonate with you? Do you have a similar feeling about rest, kind of fighting it like I have? I wonder where along the lines we taught ourselves or we accepted that rest was an action, because when I get done recording this and I choose to rest and rest my mind and not be thinking about all the things I could be doing, but I'm choosing one thing to focus on and choosing one thing to give my body that time to heal and to grow. And that's just what I'm going to do today. So what are your thoughts on that? And then kind of my second idea, and I started the episode discussing this a little bit, is that rest can be held, and wanting rest can be in the same, you can hold the same emotion as being really excited to go to something or really wondering what's going to happen or, not anxiously spinning, but kind of having those jitters and being excited to go to something again. And you can both want to do something and want rest at the same time. And I just wish we had the ability to kind of think about that both emotions can be held and one isn't good and one isn't bad. And I think as the world finds its new rhythm, the ability to travel and to gather is returning even more rapidly, we can feel really grateful for that, grateful for the journey that we've all been on in the last 2 years and being able to gather and celebrate, but also thinking we need to take time because of this new rhythm to rest, to take those minutes to pause. And maybe you do that listening to a podcast or taking a nap or cooking something or creating something in a garden. Whatever it is for you, find your rest. And so I just wonder, can we be burned out and grateful? And I think yes. That's the quick message from me today. And next week, I will be back with another amazing interview, another guest who just shares their good in this world. And so, what stands out to you when you think about rest? Are you anxious, excited, peacefully longing? Ponder that today. Today is all about listening to that need for rest and realizing that rest is a part of the process, not instead of, as well as gratitude for an activity can be in tandem with the need for rest. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Your Good News podcast. If you liked it, go ahead and subscribe. So each Thursday, you will find a new episode where you listen to podcasts. May that be Apple Music, Spotify, and please leave a review. These little actions mean so much to me. Help the podcast grow, and follow me on Instagram. My handle is @Katherine Getty for more content on this topic. And join us next week for another episode of the Your Good News podcast.